Here we go. Well, we've ridden about 35 miles thus far on the Vitpilen, sorry, Svartpilen, and so far a really fun bike. Gets rid of all the uncomfortableness that you find in the Vitpilen. So we're gonna turn our TC off right now because we want to pop some wheelies. So all you gotta do is press this button here, hold it down, release button. Now I got wheelie mode engaged. But man, look at that dash. What a disappointment. The rest of the bike is so cool and so nicely styled, and then you look at this gauge and it makes you sad. It's probably the only real fall down in terms of styling on this bike. Seating position is massively comfortable compared to the Vitpilen. You got nice wide pulled back bars, not quite, let's say, tiller bars like you'd expect to find on a flat tracker. More motocross-ish almost, but not bad at all. And uh-oh, I didn't get my radness turned off. Let's see if I can do it now. Nope, won't let me do it. I wanted to pop some wheelies, but now it won't do it. Woo! Nice torquey motor, really fun. Lets you lock her up nice. Got a nice bit of engine braking, which makes it a really fun bike in terms of you don't have to touch the rear brake very often. You can just let off the throttle and it slows you down pretty well. So same engine that's in the 701 Vitpilen, and 75 horsepower, I believe 53 or 54 foot-pounds of torque, and single cylinder, dual counterbalance, which is nice. It's got a counterbalancer down on the crankshaft and a counterbalancer up on the camshaft. So what that top one does is kind of balance out the leftover vibes that the bottom one doesn't get rid of. So it's like a the cylinder's a lever, it sticks up high, so you don't have to have a very big counterbalancer up there because it's so far up and out of the way, so it's just a little lever, and it works really well. This bike is dang smooth for a single. So it's just as smooth as a parallel twin, you know. It's not 4-cylinder smooth, but when you get going on the freeway, the bars can get buzzy still. But it's torquey and fun, man. And up in front of me is one of the guys that works for Kiska, which is the design house for KTM and Husqvarna, obviously. And this is one of his projects, so he's riding along to see what we think of it. But he's also a pretty fun rider. So we're on a nice bumpy road now, so we get to test out the longer stroke of the suspension. So front suspension stroke is 15 millimeters longer than the Vitpilen. So it's 150 millimeters versus 135 millimeters. So what they say is it lets it be a little more plush in the initial stroke. So on rough roads like this, it's just not as punishing, you know. And then when you're sitting more upright, it's also less punishing on your wrists. So little gravel. We got TC turned off, so we need to be a little careful. And that's why I say, yeah, it's pretty plush. It's just so fun in second gear. It just lofts the wheels so easily in second gear. A little stab at the clutch and up she goes, you know. And if you got the right RPMs, you don't even have to stab the clutch. It'll just go. So brakes, Brembo brake up front, ABS, non-switchable. Probably the only bummer, I think, in terms of electronics. I'd like it to have a supermoto mode because of the, you know, just kind of did a little moto style turn there. It's very comfortable doing it that way, actually. Back to the ABS. So it's not switchable, so you can't turn it off. It should have a supermoto mode, especially if it's a tracker style bike. It'd be nice to be able to back this sucker in on the brakes. In order to back it in, you got to be hauling butt and drop down a bunch of gears. You know, then the power assisted slipper clutch works pretty well. Keeps it from locking up. It'll give you a nice little skid going, but you got to be moving to do it. It's not I wish we didn't have to pull a fuse in order to get the ABS off. And if you pull a fuse, then you lose your front ABS, which I always think front ABS should be on these things. Seating position is massively comfortable. I'm expecting the seat to be a little stiff. It feels stiff, but it's wide, supports your butt pretty well, and so far it has not made my butt hurt. Yeah, man, it's just really hard to see this dash in this light. You know, you go from bright to light, with the sun, you know, behind you glaring on that plexiglass kind of shield. It's not rad, man. So one thing I like about this bike is you can ride it like a supermoto or a street bike. It's actually happy with the leg out supermoto style, which is pretty fun. So on these rough cobblestone streets, the little extra bit of travel is nice. It's not punishing like it would be on the Vitpilen. It's a little more compliant, and with your upright seating position, your body's more upright, so you're not jarring your wrists while you're hitting this stuff. It's kind of nice. It's definitely probably a better bike for if you live in a city with jacked up streets, you know, that are all heaved up by snow and ice and messed up. Much better choice than the Vitpilen for sure. And I hate to make a comparison to the 690 Duke, but this has got way more style, and even a more relaxed riding position than that. It might be better for most shredders to rock this in a 690 Duke. But 690 Duke has a much better dash. This dash is garbage. Feeling from the ride-by-wire throttle is pretty spot on. It's not herky-jerky. It doesn't want to surge or anything in the corners. They've got it really dialed in, as they should with you know, this engine being in 5 different bikes now, I think. These tires aren't as grippy, obviously, as the full street meets of the Vitpilen. So you got to be careful on your corner entries. Not so much on your exits, but definitely on your entries, that you give it a little room to wiggle. It's this flat trackery, dual sporty looking Pirelli tires, not as grippy as a sport touring or sport tire. But it still gets down in the corners pretty well.